Watch and burn.
Hey everyone, so tonight I want to discuss the Aphex Twin's the Collapse EP, this bad boy here. Now this is the first the first new release from Aphex since his reintroduction into our general consciousness back when he released Syro. And this is the first one, that he released since then that I feel like sounds like Aphex Twin or sounds like something that could be Aphex Twin. Because as far as Syro, Computer Controlled, and Cheetah working, I found Cheetah was the strongest out of those three, but I still felt like maybe his time in the sun had come and gone, because Syro and Computer Controlled, they felt technically proficient, but they just weren't too emotive. Like I wasn't able to sort of latch on to any of the tracks on either the LP or the EP. And I just kind of figured that that's okay, you know. He went out with Drux back in the early 2000s, and it took a while for him to come back, and maybe he's not as good as he used to be, but as people get older, that does tend to happen. But then he released this. This sounds like old Aphex. And I'm not one of those people that's absolutely married to the idea of like, oh, the new stuff's always going to suck. It has to be old. You know, like everyone's like, oh, the new record's terrible. I'm into their classic period or whatever. No, it's nothing like that. But I do have to say that since his reintroduction into mainstream music with Syro, I just felt like the releases, they weren't as organically entertaining. It felt like he was sitting down and constructing music, whereas everything he released prior to Syro felt more like the music was being constructed by the music on its own, using his hands to get it out to the world. And that's what this sounds like. This sounds like old Aphex. This sounds like the Aphex Twin that I grew up with and I fell in love with back when I was a kid. And the only really disappointing thing I have to say here is that there's only 4 tracks on, there's only 4 tracks on here. And that's okay. I mean, an EP, it is after all an EP. I love the artwork, I love the vibe, and I love the melodies, the rhythms. I love how there's that creepy sense of old Aphex is back here, that's something else, that sort of creepier aspect of his music that I found was completely absent from Syro and Computer Controlled. And it seems to be back on this, and I hope he just has more of this stuff waiting in the wings. Even though I will say, like I think I've said before with other Aphex Twin videos I've done, possibly I've said this, doesn't matter, I'm saying it now. I don't know what's new from him, and I don't know what is old. On one hand, I want to trust that the music on here is 100% new. But on the flip side, you know that man has done so many songs, and considering that his stuff always sort of sounds the same, it's hard to say. This could be brand new. He could have finished the music on this a week before it came out. Or he could have been sitting on the tracks that are on here for over a decade. Who knows? So I don't really trust him either. So it's kind of a problem, I suppose. But yeah, this was amazing. And I am going to leave it there. So thank you so much for hanging out with me while I discuss the Aphex Twin's Collapse EP. If you liked this review, don't forget to do something nice for somebody. Most importantly, don't forget that you guys are amazing, and I appreciate each and every one of you. Have a good night. I just wanted to say thank you for making it through the entire video. I really appreciate it. And I'm going to remind everyone one more time, even though I've probably already done this in the video that you just watched, to please click the like button as well as the subscribe button, because it helps this channel grow. And thank you for hitting like and subscribe, and we will see you guys really soon.